My cats are rustling in the background, and one of them is definitely channeling Bonesaw energy from the original Spider-Man film, so be prepared for some sounds possibly. But very exciting news coming out today. A lot of people were very skeptical of this in the past. Hey, what's going on? Is this going to be a thing? Is it not? Is he here? Is it Batwoman? How does this line up with the timeline of the Arkhamverse, as it's being called, for the Rocksteady Batman Arkham universe? Because we were told that this game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, is in the Arkham universe. It's in the Batman Arkham universe sometime after Arkham Knight. And we finally have confirmation that Batman himself will be in the game. And it's not just any Batman. It's not a successor. It's not some follow-up, as much as I love some of the successors to Batman. It is the OG Kevin Conroy Arkham Batman. Now, I will say here real quick, I think a lot of people are wondering how this is, going on because of the sad tragedy with Kevin Conroy, with his life being terribly cut short by a battle with cancer, which really still makes me just horribly depressed to think about, honestly. Such a nice guy, such a talent, and truly like the heart of a hero. But a lot of these projects are completed in terms of voice work and other stuff very early on, or there's a lot of it done in advance, like very far in advance. So it's interesting to note that he will be back in this form. The trailer today at the Game Awards actually shows Batman himself in a confrontation with the Squad, which I thought was really interesting. We're not shown very much, of course. And again, worth noting, this is not a game where you play as a bunch of superheroes. This is a game essentially where you are the Suicide Squad and you are fighting the Justice League, right? So because of that, we can pretty much all assume that Batman is not some playable character that we're going to see a bunch of. He is an enemy in the game, at least to the Squad. Now, do I really think they're going to kill the Justice League? No. And part of my reasoning behind that is, one, it would be absolutely insane and ridiculous to tout the return of Kevin Conroy, who recently passed away, and then murder his character. Okay, I don't think that they're that stupid. Now, WB's done some stupid-ass things over the course of their life. I don't know if they're that stupid. I just doubt it, especially Rocksteady, a character that, clicked for them so much. And secondly, I do want to add that it's worth noting that they are dragging Flash around in this trailer. This appears to be after the Squad defeated Flash and beat him. And while Captain Boomerang is kind of taunting Flash behind the scenes, we can see that he's trying not to be seen doing it by the other Squad members. And he's waving around his boomerang, talking about how he wants to kill Flash with it. And then he accidentally hits Flash's finger, one of Flash's fingers, he has 10, and cuts off part of it, which is really dark and brutal. I'm shocked that that was in here, not because I'm like, oh no, it's too far. Like, they've shown a lot of stuff in the Arkhamverse, but because I'm surprised they had the balls to cut off Flash's finger. That's kind of a lot, for a beloved superhero. But again, they didn't kill him, and it does appear that the Squad is actively trying not to kill the Justice League, even though that's the title of the game. They are dragging his body around alive, he's alive, and they are keeping him alive, and Captain Boomerang is trying not to be seen taunting Flash and talking about how he wants to kill him, which again leads me to believe that the Squad is not going to be trying to murder the League. It seems like they're isolating them and trying to beat them one at a time to then break them free of this brain control, but we'll have to wait and see more in the actual game or upcoming trailers. There are a lot of really neat things in this trailer. First off, there's a little tease of Batman early on in the trailer where Harley Quinn almost runs into a set piece of Batman, which leads me to the assumption that this is some sort of movie set, especially because we see that it says Arkham Asylum in the background behind Batman when he actually is inevitably revealed. And there are a lot of prop-looking things and partially built pieces. This looks to me like some sort of movie set where they were doing something with Arkham Asylum, be it a documentary or a entertainment film, who knows, but this is kind of where Batman shows up, which is ironic and also kind of fun in the setting of the game. And I do want to mention too, before we talk about the meat of what all of this means, when Batman does show up, he still uses fear, and it is pointed out by Harley that this is Bruce. She calls him Bruce, meaning this does definitely take place after Night, where Bruce Wayne's identity has been revealed to the general public, However, it doesn't seem like it's really cramping his style, at least here, in terms of being Batman. Now, this also goes into the idea that the Batman we saw at the end of Arkham Knight really was Bruce still, just in a different form, essentially. A lot of people said with the effects that were used, it kind of seemed like he was going into using a nerfed version of Scarecrow gas. That was always a community theory, which I actually support. I don't really think that it was Azrael, as cool as that would actually be. I don't think that it was Jason Todd or anyone else taking up that mantle in the end, because we do see Bruce Wayne's Batman here being referred to as Bruce. I also did want to mention that his suit is very different here. I really actually like it from what we see. This is sort of a combination of suits in terms of the design that we've seen before. It has some of the bulkiness of the Arkham Origins Batsuit, which I always actually personally loved. A very streamlined looking chest, not overly detailed, which was a problem some had with the Arkham Knight suit. And of course, it does kind of flow into the more pants-like look of the Origins suit, but having a very advanced and interesting belt right on there that I would say is more in line with the classic looking utility belt from something like BTAS or Justice League or any of those animated properties. So it's really cool to see this new updated version of Batman, even though we likely will never play as him in this game. Still really awesome that he's here. And to read right off of the press release, because somehow, I will tell you this video is not sponsored, somehow despite the constant shots I take back at WB when they copyright strike my videos or get mad at me for something I said, I still get these press kit emails. I don't know why I get them, but I figured I've kind of been butthurt about them in the past, and instead of doing that, I'm going to actually read off of the press kit email for you, because I know you guys don't get the press kit email. I think a lot of times I ignore these things because I'm in a situation where I'm annoyed with WB. That's not your fault. So let's actually take a look at this and read this, because going verbatim here on the original, summary of the game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is an original genre-defying action-adventure third-person shooter where players take on the roles of Harley Quinn, Harleen Quinzel, Deadshot, Floyd Lawton, Captain Boomerang, Digger Harkness, be careful saying that one, and King Shark, Nanawe. I always say his name wrong, but I do what I can here. Who must join forces to take down the world's greatest DC superheroes, the Justice League. Now, it's worth noting that they did fully confirm and reveal the launch date here in this email, and also at the Game Awards where all of this was shown, saying that the game will be available worldwide on May 26th, 2023 for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So continuing on with the email, one thing that they said was that this was a reveal of a first look at Batman as one of the corrupted Justice League members opposing Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and King Shark. The video features the squad's initial encounter with the Dark Knight, so to me that implies this is the first time in the game they're running into him, and closes with a tribute to Kevin Conroy, the beloved actor who passed away last month. As the iconic voice of the Caped Crusader in the Batman Arkham video game series, Batman, the animated series, and countless other DC projects, Conroy returns to Rocksteady's Arkhamverse one final time and reprises his role as Batman in Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They then went on to say the release date again. With all this said, I think there are some hidden meanings or things that we can extrapolate from this trailer and the inclusion. One I already talked about was that I believe this further cements the idea that at the ending of Arkham Knight, Bruce Wayne still was Batman. He was just at least temporarily cutting off contact with his allies and everyone, faking his death and trying to undo the damage that Scarecrow did to the Batman mantle, the legacy of fear or whatever you want to call it, in sort of trying to reclaim that power back. And it looks like he did a pretty good job. Even though Harley still refers to him as Bruce, we do know that because of all of this, he's still a scary presence, right? Controlled or not, Batman is still viewed as Batman, and he's still scary. So I think that that's really interesting. Another thing is, I wouldn't expect this to be the final outing in the Arkhamverse. This is just my opinion, but to actually have WB representatives officially referring to this as the Arkhamverse, I'm not going to say it's the first time it's ever happened. I'm sure it has happened before, but still referring to it that way. I know that this is a marketing tactic to get people to buy Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's not a Batman game. And I'm sure they don't want what happened with Gotham Knights to happen here, which, whether you like that or not, it reportedly did not sell as well as they wanted. So, that said, at the same time, them also referring to this as the Arkhamverse leads me to believe that there's the possibility of more in this universe. They do note in the email that sadly this is the final time Kevin Conroy is joining that Arkhamverse. However, and I'm saying this as respectfully as I can, I'm not saying this in a way of like anyone could ever replace Kevin. I don't believe that. And in fact, even though there have been other Batman voices I have loved in animation, he has been my personal favorite. Just getting that out there. But with everything said and done, there has been another voice actor in the Arkhamverse before, which is Roger Craig Smith, who I think did do a fantastic job in Arkham Origins. I've always personally wanted to see some of what happens in the years between Origins and Asylum. And there is always the opportunity to revisit this universe, to revisit that Batman in the future. Will it happen? I don't know. But, I do think that he could do a very good job. He was very respectful of the character. And trying not to step out of my lane here or say something disrespectful in any way, because I personally think Kevin Conroy's life matters more than, it matters more to me than a character, right? But at the same time, watching so many interviews from him and talking to T, who met him in person and talked to him, and just kind of seeing a lot of the stuff he put out there in his own personal vlogs and messages and cameos and stuff, I also don't think that Kevin Conroy, and again, I'm not trying to speak, for other people, I'm just saying from everything I have seen, it did not seem to me like he would want Batman to go away if he did. This was a character that was extremely important to him and that he knew was extremely important to a lot of people. There's a reason why Batman warranted his own trailer. There's a reason why he's a household name. There is always the possibility of visiting this in the future. This is something I would like to make a video about on its own when some more time has passed. I think it's a sensitive subject for people, which I understand, and it is for me too, which is why I'm glad that regardless of how sad I am with everything that happened, I'm glad that if this Batman was showing up here, we got to hear Kevin one more time. I think that's really cool. And I'm kind of tearing up a little bit, so I feel like I should just kind of close this video out because seeing this and then seeing the tribute to him at the end with the classic I Am the Night dialogue, it kind of hit me hard. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about all of this. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. I'm excited. I think it's really cool. And, I'm glad that this kind of cleared up some stuff along with sort of quelling, is that the word? Squashing the community, I guess I would say, questions about why there was Bat Tech being showed off earlier in the trailers, and if Batman was still around, or if it was Batwoman, because we had, his cousin confirmed to exist in Arkham Knight, obviously, and other stuff. I think it's cool to actually see that this is the Batman that we know and love, and it is Kevin Conroy. I think there is room for some other stuff in the future, but again, that's a video for another day. And I mean that as respectfully as possible because I love this character, but the legacy of the man behind it is extremely powerful. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We do cover all kinds of DC stuff over here and have a really fun time doing it, along with all kinds of other stuff. I know we do Marvel. I've been talking about Fallout, Silent Hill, Assassin's Creed lately. Another thing I'd like to talk more about is James Bond. I was surprised that some of you Arkham fans and some of the Batman fans connected so much with that James Bond video. That means a ton to me. I didn't know there was any crossover between those fandoms other than me. So that was really cool to see. And, we're going into the holiday season here. It's been a really hard year on the channel. Views are down. It's hard to get people to see stuff because of how the website works. But I appreciate you guys sticking it out with me. It means a lot. And we are still growing slowly but surely. I hope you all have a fantastic day today. And as always, stay shui.